Hello, people, and welcome to another episode of Uncomfortable but Necessary. Thanks so much for joining me for today's episode. Thank you so much. Uncomfortable but Necessary podcast is where we have necessary conversations that we need to have as individual, especially in today's world, time, and age. This is a space where we talk about just like the title of the podcast or what is up uncomfortable but necessary. This is where we have conversations that might look so uncomfortable at first, but these are conversations that are necessary for every individual, every family, every nation, everyone at all that want to, you know, move forward, that want to thrive, that want to attain success, live a life of impact and legacy. So, without further ado, today we'll be talking about something very interesting. And every episode, anyway, I think I say that right. So, we're having these conversations that I think is very important. And I title it "You Cannot Thrive in the Same Environment That Keeps Breaking You." And we're having this conversation because a lot is happening. A lot is happening. And in my other podcast that I run, Dear Talks podcast, where it's a live podcast where people ask questions and I, as much as possible, try to give answers to them. One of the questions that's always been coming every time is about how that some people don't know how to say no. Some people feel so drained and exhausted. They don't know how to tell their families that they are dying. You know, because sometimes we have this image of people in our head. And if those people will not help us by telling us who they are, what they are going through, we keep on having these assumptions about them. This happens to even us, the way we see people. Sometimes you think this person is a rich person, or you think this person is some kind of a person. We have this assumption of people in our head until when people start to become vocal or act in a constant way, over a period of time, that they are, those assumptions begin to fade. But if they are in no way communicating it in their words, in their actions, by the things they say, by the things they post, we continue to have those assumptions of them, whether it's good or bad. And sometimes, it kind of drains people. It's kind of, I've seen where it leads to resentment. Like one of the questions that was asked on Jet Talk podcast. You can check it up also on this YouTube channel. You check the live section, of the videos, you see it there. How that people can get resent, because you're draining them, they're feeling exhausted, and it is really not those people's faults that are always coming to take from you. It's because you allowed them. It's because you tell them, whether verbally or by attitude, that is okay. Okay, that is for their talks. So for comfortable necessary, the conversations we're having is you cannot thrive in the same environment that keeps breaking you. You know, um, one of the some of the things we discuss why we're having this conversation is because many people are trying to heal while constantly stressed, emotionally drained, unsupported, invalidated, manipulated, or mentally exhausted by the same environment that they remain in daily. And eventually survival mode starts feeling normal. So let me say this. Some environments don't destroy people immediately. They destroy people slowly. And until you start to recognize or learn how to recognize things that are draining you, environment that are not conducive for you as a person, you will not thrive. For example, now if you're someone that is, trying to build wealth, there's a kind of environment you need for yourself to be able to meet that goal, for you to be able to thrive well, for you to be able to be productive. There's a kind of environment, there's a kind of energy you need around you. There's a kind of people you need around you. There's a kind of space that you should find yourself. If you're someone that, you're having this struggle, or you're in a downtime, there's a kind of environment that will help you. Because I've seen people that they're in their lowest, and people are still coming to drain them. Sometimes you need to learn to know what or who, you need to learn to know what people represent to you per time. A single person can be five different things to you at different times. Until you learn to know how to understand people, relate with people better. As much as you're learning emotional intelligence, you also need to learn survivor intelligence or thriving intelligence. I don't like to use the word survivor. I prefer the word thriving. Thriving intelligence. For you to thrive well in any sector, in any situation, in any phase of life, you need to be aware of some certain things: the people, the environment, and the things, the components. I'm going somewhere because I've seen people that are constantly, in an environment that is not helping them. They're in a relationship that is not helping them. They're in a form of partnership that is not helping them. They're doing some kind of business that they should not be found doing. Some of them have yoked themselves with some career that they should have moved ahead with. So, what I'm saying is that one of the hardest truths to accept is that sometimes the place, the people, or environment you're trying hardest to survive in may actually be the very thing destroying you slowly. Let me take that again. One of the hardest truths to accept is that sometimes the place, the people, or environments you're trying hardest to survive in may actually be the very thing destroying you slowly. I need you to let that to sink. And you need to start, you know, taking stock, taking inventory of the people that you have in your space right now. I need you to start seeing people. I need you to start taking inventory of the place you are right now. I need you to start taking inventory of the environment that surrounds you right now. Because no matter how strong you are, you cannot continuously heal or thrive in an environment that constantly wounds you. I don't know why I'm going back to Dear Talk podcast. I gave them in a scenario. I gave them a scenario that, for them to know if they're in the best position to help anybody, you want to be standing on your 2 feet. So this is how I explained. Let's say, for example, now I'm seated on this chair right now. If we are both seated on a chair and you're telling me, oh, Grace, can you please lift me up? Why still seated? Do you think I'll be able to do that successfully? In fact, you are a selfish person because we are both seated. It's just like a level that we are both in, and you're reaching out to me that, okay, pull me up now. How am I supposed to pull you up while still seated? Is either I'll be straining my back. In fact, it will be hurting, almost impossible for me to pull you up while I'm seated. Probably the only person I can pull up that way is a baby, like my baby. But if we are both seated this way and you're expecting me to pull you up, I can't. You are the wrong people that we're talking about. This is the wrong environment. We are both in a wrong, situation, wanting help from each other. We are not both, we should both be looking for help in another place, not in ourselves. So I told them that if anyone, because the kind of question they were asked, I was like, okay, I needed to pin a snail. They needed to something like a go-to thing that they can use to check if they're in the best position to help anybody. I said you must be standing on your 2 feet, and this is what I mean. For me to really pull you up, I need to be standing on my 2 feet, not one, two. That does not mean I'm selfish. That means I need a level. Everybody needs a level of stability, some kind of advantage that the other person does not have, some kind of resource that the other person does not have at that time. Because another mistake you make is that because I was able to help you yesterday, does not mean I can help you today. If my situation of yesterday is very from my situation of the present, I can't. So you need to understand the people in your surroundings per time, the environment you find yourself per time, the people around your space per time. Are they really helping you? Are they the kind of people you need right now to thrive in that relationship, in that business? I will hear people say a lot of things that, especially if you're from Africa and you're trying to build wealth for yourself. Some say for the first 10 years of your life, something for the first 5 years of your life, if as much as possible, go away from your family member, just like what God told Abraham, that it took him away from his family. I think that's it. To a reasonable extent, I think that is true. Because there was some kind of help that for me to be able to help you, I need to be in a space mentally, financially. It's not just financially, because some people think everything's about money. Sometimes I need to be in that space to be able to deliver, to be able to thrive and be able to now help you. Because I've seen people stay in an environment that is destroying them. Some people are in that environment, and that is why some of the things that you write for your goals for the year, goals for the week, for the month, for the your plans, for your 5 years plan, your 10 years plan, will not fulfill, because you are constantly with the wrong people. You are constantly in the wrong environment. You are with drainers. There are people that are exhausting you. You are with people, especially in Africa, there's something we call black tax. People that are taxing you spiritually, financially, emotionally, every area of your life. They are taxing you, and you cannot afford to. It's just like you're asking for a help. The first is not, do I have it? The thing is, can I afford to help you? I give another scenario in Dear Talk podcast. I said it's just like every human being has just one liver. I'm here to say anybody with 2 livers. We all have just one liver, right? And let's say this individual A and individual B. This individual A has liver issues and needs a liver transplant. Imagine this person asking this other person that, oh, can you give me your liver? I need a liver transplant. The question is, do I have this liver here? I have it. But can I part with it? No. Because I only have one. So the mistake sometimes people make is that because I have it, I will give it. No. I have it, but I can't afford to give it out. It's a different scenario. Everybody has 2 kidneys, right? We all have 2 kidneys. The other person too has 2 kidneys. So let's say this individual A, probably both kidneys are no longer functioning, right? And I still have 2 solid kidneys. Not that one is bad, they are both okay. and I'm medically checked that they're both okay, and I'm medically checked that I can survive on one and I can give everyone. So if someone is in need of a kidney, I can afford to give, even though I can still not give, I can still decide not to give, but at least I can afford to give. That is another scenario. So what some people are doing is they're having just one kidney. And because they are kind, they are good people, they want to give out the one kidney, liver. They want to give out that one liver they have. That does not make you a good person. You will just die. And the best people will do for you is to remember you on your, on your remembrance day, and bring flowers to your gravesite. Flowers that you can't smell, that does nothing to you, because you're no longer there. So I want you to always remember these two scenarios that I painted. For you to help anyone, you have to be standing. For you to be able to help anyone, just have paint this scenario that this person is asking you to pull them up, probably financially, emotionally, spiritually, in any area. You have to be standing on your 2 feet. Or else, if you end up to help them, you either feel stressed, exhausted, feel used, and over time, you will start to have what is called, what is the word now? Resentment. You start to resent them. And because you don't want that to happen, also ask yourself, when I'm helping this person, how will it make me feel? Will I feel good about it? Or you're already feeling bad that and I don't have this. Any help that you're giving that is not from your heart, don't. Something is already telling you you're not the best person to give their help. It's okay to refer people. I can't help you, but I think I know someone that can help you. Sometimes what the help people need might not be the version of the help that you can offer for that time. If you need, like, for example, you need you're starting a business and you come to me, or how can you help me? I will not be able to give you money. I might be able to give you some kind of business advice, or some kind of business ideas, like, or someone that can do something for you for free, or I can afford to do something for you for free, or I can give you a book for free. Help translates to people at different levels that they are in. You need to be able to know where you are and what you can easily part with. I'm not saying you should be selfish. I'm not saying you have to be the wealthiest person on earth to be able to help people. No, I help people on every given time. I have I have the opportunity to. Giving people your time is your resource. Sometimes you think everything has to be with money. No, the fact that people are giving you their time, or the fact that you are giving people their time, is a level of contribution. So never allow people to take you for granted. And that's why you need to know your value as an individual, as an human being. Nobody is El Shaddai. You need to recognize your environment. You need to recognize the kind of people you have in your space. Are they drainers? Are they people that don't really care whether you can afford to, or whether you have what you have is, because I've seen people that they know that what you have is that one liver, and they will still ask for you for that one liver. So it's left to you to say no and stand your ground, and not still feel bad for saying no. Because another thing is that you will say no and they'll make you feel bad, and you cannot give me that one liver. You should not be like, and I can get, and this person is dying. Oh. Shall not give this one liver like this. Go ahead and give the one liver. So the thing is, you need to really know how to examine situations and ask yourself, in this situation, what I have, is it one liver or two kidneys? This person is asking me to pull them up. Am I sitting like them, or I'm standing? At least I'm standing on both legs and I can easily pull them up. But there's some level of help that you're not the best person in that position to help them, or you are not, the help you can give them is probably not what they want or they are demanding of you, but it's still a version of help you can render. Go ahead and give what you can give. I know why I'm saying what I'm saying. So I want to talk about how that some environments drains people quietly. I will tell that not every harmful environment looks dramatic. Some environments slowly destroy confidence, some increase anxiety, some make people emotionally exhausted, create fear, reduce peace, and normalize survival mode. I think I've said this. Examples are like toxic workplace. You know this workplace is toxic for you. Some is the emotional draining relationships. I've said that. Unhealthy friendship. There are friendship that, so what's the friendship here? The version of some people's friendship is not, I don't know. It's like parasites. That you notice people, they are vampires. They are sucking your blood. How is that supposed to be it's a mutual relation? It's not a mutual relationship. When I should be willing everybody in that relationship to be for every any relationship at all to work, be it friendship, romantic relationship, workplace relationship, any relationship at all. Both party or all parties involved must be willing to give in their 100%. Am I saying they will always have the 100% to give part time? No. For this season now, probably what I have is 80% of me or 20% of me. That's when you cannot compliment. But if I'm not even willing to give my 100%, or I'm never having the 100% to give, then that is not a mutual beneficial relationship. Especially when you're not expecting the other person to always come with their own 100%. That is selfish. So when you or someone else, because sometimes it might even be the problem, it might not be this other person. You might be this drainer that you're talking about. You might even be the this person draining other people. So you need so I want you to listen to this conversation, not from the place of victim. Sometimes you might even be the one victimizing someone else. So you need to understand who you are, where you are standing presently, to know, okay, am I doing this to someone else? Or is this thing being done to me? You need to understand, you need to know it. Is it being done to me, or am I doing this same thing to someone else? You need to evaluate these things, because I've seen people that they are parasites and they don't really care. People don't, sometimes they don't care. They will just like I just like that scenario. You know, everybody has one liver. They're not asking me to give one liver. They don't care. So what I said is that they must both be willing to give their 100%, even though it is not realistic to always be on your 100% every single time. But you are willing to give it, and when you have it, you're willing to give it. And the days you don't have it, the other person is willing to compensate, and you will not feel bad. And this other person will not feel bad for having that 100% and giving it. And the days you have your 100%, you are willing to give in your 100% in time, in your resources, in everything. So you need to take inventory of your relationship. You need to ask yourself, the people in your space, are they helping you? What are the kind of people you need? Are they people that see life, are you sharing the same values? Are your principles alike? Or there are people that they don't really care? They're just with you for the sake of what they stand to gain from you. People that don't care to use you, probably for a connection, for a contact, you know, for emotional support. Is that why they are with you? Or we are both in this to help each other? I also say that there are some environments. Okay, I think I've said this. Examples are toxic workplace, emotional draining relationship, unhealthy friendship, controlling family system, environment full of criticism or chaos. I've seen some family systems that it's a lot. It's not a good place for some people to be. And that's why sometimes what you need to do is just like what God told Abraham, come out from amongst them. I've seen people that they did not start living as a human being. And I'm being serious, until I don't want to use the word abandon. Probably ignore their family members. Not because these people are bad, but because for you to thrive, I don't want to say survive. For you to thrive, sometimes you need to really ask yourself, what's the step you need to take? You really need to ask yourself some questions. You need to ask yourself some deep question that someone might never ask you. Because I've seen family members that they don't care. I've seen them that they are so controlling. They want to control your mind, they want to control how you spend your money, they want to control your career, they want to control where you stay, they want to control how you live your life, they want to control the kind of, even when they know you, even when you have a resource, they want to still tell, no, you can't buy that car now. You see that your brother is, they make you feel so responsible for every other person's life. Don't forget, you are not El Shaddai, else you will die. You need to understand the peculiarity of your environment, because I've seen people that say, oh, in my own family, some families are different. You don't need to be like every other person, because some families, this person did that for the, you don't know the peculiarity of that family. You don't know what they are doing behind the scene to help this family. I say, okay, for example, now, you want to have a kind of wedding that someone had. Some people will be deceived. You will think this person have this wedding. You'll be surprised that the person did not even use any, like, zero naira from their own personal pockets. Probably they were helped from uncles, aunties, family members, friends. And even though it's a big wedding, and you know that for you to have that kind of wedding, it's going to take your old savings, in fact, your investments and your future all together. And people are, you know, what's the word now? They're pressurizing you to do this, to do that. You know that you cannot afford to. Don't. That's why I tell people, you need to have a stand in life. Not be ashamed, not be afraid to tell people your stand. You should not be ashamed to declare, to act, to say, to confess, to profess your stand. And make sure that your stand is constant. But one mistake that most people make is that today they have a stand. Tomorrow, people are confused, they don't even know where you stand again. So you need to be constant. Not today you say it's okay. Tomorrow you say, I know I can't do. No, at least, so always now when I'm saying that is in respect to your values and your principles. People know that, okay, when it comes to situation, no, it's a yes or no situation, or it's a, if it's possible situation, it's a, people should not come to you, because sometimes I see people say, if even if you can't, no, I can't. There's some things, for example, now I have some principles. For example, there's some things I cannot borrow money for, whether for me or for someone else. And there are some people, my family member knows that I can go any length when it has to do with a matter of life, or is a health issue, or let's just say life and death situation. But this situation is not a life and death situation. You now want me to go and borrow money, or you want me to sell some valuables, I would not. Do you understand? You imagine you want to have a party and you're now borrowing for that party. I'm not that kind of person that you can have that conversation with. But probably I might even do that if it's a business. But it also has to do with what kind of business. If it's a first time business or a new business, I will not. Because I'm not just emotional, I'm logical, I'm spiritual. I test all spirits. I test the spiritual spirits, the emotional, I test everything. Is this the best thing to do for this moment? Yeah, it's good to borrow money for business, but one of my own principles is not for a first time or a new business. Probably a business that has been done over time, that you have a history, not something that you are still testing the waters. You don't want to go and borrow for. It's a lot of risks. People do it, but I probably might not do it. Especially if you are new to the business world, or you are new to that kind of business. It's better to save up for it, or if there are available grants. But to say you want to borrow money that will have compounding interest, those kind of things for a new business, or for a first time business owner, I may not be able to do that. So there's just some things that you should have some kind of principle that you live your life with. Some things that it's already, you don't have it. You know there's no long story to it. Because some people are not lazy, they're not difficult, They're not unmotivated. They are emotionally exhausted from surviving environments that constantly drains them. I need to understand that survival mode is not the same as thriving. You need to, as much as possible, create a thriving environment. You owe yourself that. And as much as possible, I try not to bother people, not to pressure people, not because I can't, or because it doesn't crosses my mind. In fact, it doesn't even cross my, but it's not in my being. See, whatever I don't want to be done to me, I don't do to other people. And whatever I don't do to people, I don't accept from you. What I don't do to other people, I want calm down. What I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. What I don't do to other people, I don't expect it to do it to me. What I don't want to be done to me, I don't do to other people. So what I will not do to other people, I won't allow it. I won't allow you to do it to me. If I will not pressure you, I will not allow pressure from you. If I won't allow you to put me in a state that I don't want to be, I won't do the same to you. If I will not, make you, if I won't drain you, I don't want you to drain me as well. But sometimes we don't want to drain people, but we allow them do those same things to us. Does that mean you hate yourself? Because you as much as you're trying to make other people good, you're trying to help them, you also need to create for yourself a thriving environment. Your relationship, your environment, the people around you. They have to be people that are in sync with your purpose, your destiny, your values, your principles. I know that people, so these are some of the reasons why I think some people remain in unhealthy environments, and you can check this if this applies to you. Number one is fear of starting over. For some, is emotional attachment. For some, it's financial dependency. For some, it could be guilt. They're feeling guilty. Some, it's fear of loneliness. For some, it's fear of disappointing people. For some, it's comfort in familiarity. Sometimes we are familiar because we are familiar, with our state or where we are. We find it difficult to detach from those environments, even though it's not helping us, even though we are not thriving, even though it's draining us. You need to, just because you are surviving in an environment does not mean that environment is healthy for you. So you need to learn from survival mode to thriving mode. If you don't learn anything from today's session, is you owe it to yourself to create for yourself an environment, a people, a surrounding that will help you to thrive as an individual. Constantly trying to survive is not the right way to life. For as much as possible, you need that form of stability from people, from your environment, in your situation. So I'm beginning to wrap up now. You need to learn to create boundaries. You need to understand that sometimes you need to give some people distance over a period of time or probably forever. Sometimes you need to change environment. It can help you. Sometimes what you need to do is protect your peace and your sanity. Sometimes you need to choose yourself first and not be ashamed of it. Because you cannot keep setting yourself on fire. You cannot keep setting yourself on fire just to remain accessible to environment destroying you. Hmm. Hmm. Let me end by saying this. Choosing peace is not selfish. Because I've seen a lot of people, you know, feel guilty for protecting themselves, leaving toxic situations, setting boundaries, choosing peace. Peace is necessary for healthy growth. So I need you to ask yourself these questions. What environment has affected you emotionally, financially, in any area the most? What environment has affected you the most? Have you ever stayed somewhere too long because of fear? Fear of anything. Maybe fear of loneliness, fear of what people will say, fear of being judged, fear of being seen as a bad people or as a bad person, any kind of fear. What are you tolerating that is slowly draining you? Ask yourself. What are you tolerating from families, from friends, or people that claim to love you, but you know this thing is killing you or pulling you back or stagnating you or not making you go forward? And I also need you to ask, do you feel like you're surviving or you are truly thriving? These are the questions I need you to answer. And when you're done asking this question, ask yourself, what kind of people do I need in my space? Do I have them in my space right now? Do I need to let go of some people? Do I need to let go of an environment? Do I need to leave an environment? Do I need to leave? Probably the environment could be where you live or a workplace environment or places that you visit time to time. Because trust me, for everyone that wants to build anything successful with their life, anything of meaning, anything with lasting impact, that want to thrive in any area of life at all, they need that thriving environment. Not just the survival one that, oh well, at least I'm still living, I'm still breathing. No. You need to build for yourself. I will say it again. You owe it to yourself to build a thriving environment. Have people that are willing to thrive with you. Know what you want. Know what you don't want. Learn how to build boundaries. Learn how to say no. Learn what to say yes to. Learn to know how far or the kind of help you can offer. Learn to ask yourself questions. How do I want to help this person? Do I have what it takes to help this person? Am I standing on two legs or I'm seated on a chair with this person? This particular season, what I have, is it a liver or two kidneys? Ask yourself these questions. I want you to know that whether you help anyone or you don't help them, you can't help everybody. You cannot help everybody. I need you to know that. So know this and know peace. So if this has blessed you, if this has in a way bring a level of clarity, answered your question, please give a thumbs up. Do like, share, subscribe if you are yet to, and please share this with everyone you really care about. In fact, maybe there's something you've been trying to tell your friends or people around you and they're not getting it. Just send this video to them. Trust me, by them watching this video, they will understand what you're saying. So thank you. Till I see you in my next video. Do have a blessed one. Bye.